Here you see the session content. As you see, I will speak shortly about Microsoft transformation story. I will talk about METSE principle, the mutual exclusive collectively exhaustive. I'll speak about DevOps and why this people transformation. I will tell you a little bit about Microsoft DevOps Dojo and what it is. I will tell you something about DevOps mindsets and culture. Also, why the DevOps is process change. And then a little bit about management of change. What is the tool to actually achieve success with process and people change? So let's move on to session content. So as you know, Microsoft was in 80s, 90s, it was a boxed software company. Maybe some of you remember those times and you had the your Microsoft Office or Microsoft Windows box at your shell in your office. And this means that the software was released 1 to 3 years, once a year, later once a 6 months. And these were times where every engineer was waiting for this big bang release. Then it was released in production, and then customers were buying it, and or it was later published on internet, and customers were downloading it. And you know, those times are really away a lot. Right now, Microsoft is doing thousands releases every day, and they're up, basically changing our software continuously. And we use DevOps to be able to make this velocity, to increase that velocity so much. And during the transformation we had to go through, we learned a lot. Because we failed a lot in many things, internally, we were failing to do things well. We were learning how to do them well, and during that time, we basically had a lot of lessons learned. And this whole transformation started when Satya Nadella, our actual CEO, joined Microsoft, and he said that it should be for us smarter to focus internally on our own productivity first before we focus elsewhere. Since if we improve on our productivity, we will be able then to serve customers better, because we will be better organized internally. We will be better and faster able to serve our customers. So we started to transform, and the first team which transformed in Microsoft to DevOps was actually the team of Azure DevOps, actual Azure DevOps, previous Team Foundation server, you might know it. And the team actually built something we called in Microsoft the One Engineering System, which is connection of Microsoft Teams, Visual Studio Code, and Visual Studio Team Services, or in another name, Azure DevOps. This One Engineering System was used and is until now. And now, since last year, or maybe even 2021, Microsoft Teams internal product groups are actually moving their engineering teams to GitHub. Not all of them are there already, but this movement has been already started, and it's moving to GitHub. Why I'm saying this is that we are eating own dog food. Yeah, basically what we develop for our customers, we use too. Therefore, we learn how to do it and how to work with those tools well. Which actually led us to understand that when we started to transform in Microsoft, we started to understand that actually, okay, every developer, every tester, every product manager, program manager, all people which are kind of working in that environment, operational people, security people, everyone understands DevOps differently. Some people say DevOps is agile. Other people say DevOps it's pipeline, CI/CD. Other people say DevOps is infrastructure as a code. Other people say DevOps is Azure DevOps. Other people say DevOps is agile, Scrum, machine learning, cloud migration, and everyone is saying something else. And we understood, okay, that's a problem. we need to somehow align all our organization, that all our organization speaks the same language, that all the taxonomy is the same. How are we gonna do that? And that was the time we started to understand that actually DevOps, it's not only about technical challenges, but it's a lot about people challenges and process challenges. And we did some kind of analysis and used mutual exclusive and collectively exhaustive principle. And with that, we actually understood that people are 50% challenge to be able to transform business people, to be able to transform customers, and to be able to transform partners, so they behave in a way, act in a way that as the in true DevOps company they should. We also understood that the other big challenges are in the process area, because if you want to transform to a true DevOps, that's a model. And majority of organizations right now are so they are operating in projects, not as in product teams. And if they transform to product teams, usually it's not always done well. And this actually hinders through DevOps organization. So we understood that this is the challenge too. 40% of those challenges are there. And of course, technology challenges are there, but technology challenges are not always hard to solve, because usually there is a manual. Usually there is from the manufacturer of the technology, there is a manual, there are documentation, and there is already experience with how to do it. But with people and process, it's much harder, because it's much more specific. Every organization is a little bit more different, every organization has its specifics, and therefore it's quite often hard to really right culture, right process to the organization. That's also what's supported by Patrick Dubois, which is the founder of DevOps Days and creator of DevOps movement. And basically, he said once that the word DevOps, the thing that word DevOps gets reduced to the technology is actually just manifestation of how badly we need a culture shift. And so this also kind of supports this idea. When we looked at it, we understood that really DevOps transformation is a people transformation. And if you want to transform people, you need to have vision, you need to have a consensus, incentive, resources, and action plan. And if you fail to achieve any of these, you will get into either confusion if you don't have a vision, because people will start to be confused where to go or which way to go. You get people to one team to sabotage another if you don't have consensus on how to do things. If one team is doing it one way, another team is doing it a different way. You get anxiety if people don't have enough skills to actually execute their jobs. You get to resistance if you don't pay them people enough, or you don't give them other incentive or other kind of recognition or any other type of motivation. Frustrated if you don't give them resources how they should actually which they should use to do their job, and you get to treadmill like a mouse if you don't give them action plan. And that's all which leads what you need to lead to really transform. And when we understood that, we actually understood also that to be able to actually practice it, and if we want to do and bring fundamental change in people's beliefs, behaviors, we will need build a community which will actually gather all the materials, all the best practices, all the lessons learned, which we have in Microsoft, and then practice these new beliefs and kind of help other teams to use it. And that's also supported by this quote from Malcolm Gladwell. And when we understood this, we said, all right, let's build something else that for maybe even in future external customers. And this was a time when actually one amazing person joined Microsoft. Her name was Ken Tang, and is Ken Tang, and she was actually helping and starting the community of the best DevOps practitioners in Microsoft, with approximately 20 people. And since its creation in, like, let's say 2017, and she led it until 2022. And right now it has almost 2,000 members, and these people, together with Sam Geckenheimer and Aaron Bjork, and other amazing people in Microsoft, they've created the baseline for something we call Microsoft Dojo. The Microsoft DevOps Dojo is, and this became the best kind of consulting material Microsoft has, and it's even more amazing because the majority of those people, those from 20 to which grew until 2000, they did it as voluntary activity on top of their routine jobs. So amazing, right? And I'm also proud to contribute to this movement since 2018. And basically what we did is that we took all learnings and lessons learned from our product group, what Azure DevOps learned the most activities, also from others. We've took also and deeply analyzed what other companies are doing, what is doing Google, Spotify, Netflix, Amazon, Meta. And we also analyzed a lot of books, which written by a lot of renowned authors. And from all that information, we've created kind of holistic DevOps approach to people, process, and technology, and teaching material for Microsoft internal engineers, and also right now released for our customers, which we used to kind of summarize holistically what DevOps is about. And this is exactly what you are seeing right now on the screen, yeah? So we've built a material which we divided into 4 pillars: culture, lean product, architecture, and technology. Since we believe if you want to do DevOps well, you need to learn about culture. You need to transform your culture well. You need to become the lean product-oriented organization and have the product-centric model applied. You need to have right architecture using microservices and using all the architectural best practices, and you need to use the right technology. We of course propagate Azure DevOps and right now GitHub or something similar to that. And you need to have enough practices, such as which are continuously being done by all your DevOps teams, which means planning, continuous integration, continuous delivery, continuous quality, security, operations, collaboration, and improvement. To give you a little bit headlight, what is actually included in each of these practices, I've selected for you one of the slides which are part of the white belt. As you see these cats here, that's also a beautiful work of where these cats represent the belts we have for DevOps Dojo. We have 4 belts right now, and in green belt we have several belts, like several levels. Let's say. Use to actually explain internally or to customers how DevOps, what all DevOps practices are, and which all DevOps practices they should be aware of or they should be learning to apply. We use Orange Belt to teach them how to scale this knowledge from one team which is already doing the best DevOps to move forward. And we use then green belt to teach them how to do one of the practices very deeply, such as site reliability engineering, or how to do accessibility well, or how to do this or that. And we teach black belt how to do it using machine learning and AI. I show you one slide later on. Show you all these practices and what is behind. But before that, very shortly on one side, I just try to say what the DevOps Dojo is. It's basically a holistic training, transformation framework, harvested from those years of Microsoft experience and other experiences from other partners, and delivered in 2 weeks for one belt, where all the team joins the call, joins the meeting, joins the session, joins the learning, and this team to apply the immersive Shuhari approach, and where we use for each of those pillars and each of those capabilities at least 2 hours of theory, 1 hour of design and discussion, and 1 hour of tailored labs for each topic. Basically, we do it for different types of roles. Depends. Sometimes we teach CIOs and VPs and lines of business managers so they can better understand how to transform to DevOps, because business needs to transform as well as the developers. But sometimes we teach enterprise architects, product managers, agile architects, data architects, and other types of architects. But primarily and usually we teach, think of DevOps, dev people, QA people, operational people, security people, and product owners. And this basically is supposed to lead them to be able to understand holistically DevOps, and also to understand and to have some prioritized roadmap how to go step by step in their transformational journey. Because the transformation, it's not an easy way, and we all know it, and you all know it. And therefore, having a help hand how to actually do the transformation, understand what leadership should do, to what all these leaders to support the transformation well, and what all these developers and development teams should do of practices and mindsets to be doing DevOps well. That's essential to transform to DevOps, and it's much easier to have it. And we know already as Microsoft that it's much easier to learn it from other group which already knows it than to do the same failures again and again. So here is a couple items of each of the pillars and capabilities. So as you can see, when we speak about continuous planning, we speak about how to release, how to estimate, what's the user story, how to do sprint planning, how to do daily stand-ups, how to do retrospectives. We speak about continuous integration. We speak about, should we use monorepo or multi-repo? Which feature branching should we use? Should we do trunk-based development? What is get pull request? Which branching policy we can set up? What automated build? How to do automated builds? Should we use some static code analysis tools such as Skool? And when we get to continue how we automate deployments, should we use feature flags or maybe canary deployments? Or maybe we should use trunk. We should make sure trunk is always production ready. Maybe we should for different environments in our pipelines. That's all what we need to speak about, and what all the developers and development teams needs to understand that they should think of. Because if you only give them the tool, like such as DevOps, GitHub, or any other tool, they have a tool, but they might not understand all these like principles and good best practices, how to actually think and use these tools. Because as maybe you know, fool is the tool is just a fool. Maybe you already heard this quote, right? Tool is one thing, best practices is the other thing. And it's often better to learn best practices theory then and then apply it in the tool. So that's was just an example of different other things, and you can read the other rest of the slide later. But here is also things as culture and lean product, and these are things which needs to change from the process perspective, together with the collaboration, together with the security, together with continuous improvement practices, and together with test and operational practices. Yeah, so when you do operations, when you do testing, security, how you collaborate, that you should maybe use the Kanban collaboration, that you should think of objectives and key results to implement objectives and key results in your organization instead of KPIs. How to align and how to do well autonomy, which ChatOps collaboration tool you should have, and how to set up automated workflows with Azure DevOps or GitHub and Microsoft Teams, for example, and maybe some logic apps in Azure, which will be doing automated posts into the Teams channels, so people can collaborate around those posts. And all of these methods, all of these collaboration methods and other methods, other best practices, it's something what it's not usually part of DevOps transformation, when because it's always often forgotten. Because we focus a lot on technology, but not that much on this people and process. So, and that's why these challenges are so often said. It's so often said that these challenges are really the major DevOps transformation challenges. When you look at the mindsets and culture, there is like a lot of different mindsets and culture we might go through, such as mindset of leadership to be customer focused, lean thinking, remove based, theory of constraints, system testing, security mindset, system development, lifestyle mindset, measure outcomes and not activity, alignment and autonomy. And each of these have like 2 or 3 slides behind to explain actually what is it about. Unfortunately, today we don't have time to do it, but I just want to say that's. But the reason why I'm showing this slide, I just want to say that there are a lot of mindsets to adopt, and the culture it determines what is acceptable or non-acceptable in your organization, what is important and non-important, what is right or wrong, and what works, what doesn't, who you hire, who you fire, who you promote. And all these mindsets should be determining your culture, including mindsets on these slides, which are even more deeply basically talking about different mindsets. That I will go only over the part on the right, that we should have culture of experimentation, culture of accountability, flexibility, to be customer savvy, culture of commitment, and culture of teams. And basically, all that, it's not easy to achieve, right? Because we work with people. When you work with tool, it's usually easy. It's a configuration, but you work with people. People are different. Every person have different learning curve. Every person has different background. Every person have different motivations, and that's why it's so hard. Yeah. So this is the people part. So we discussed briefly the people part. Right now, let's discuss briefly the process part. When you look at process part, there needs to be really a lot of things to change from the process perspective to organization to be successful in DevOps. Here are just some topics. This is not excessively. Need change because business become from the provider just kind of partner. From intermediation, they need to disintermediate and become the partner and broker and be supportive department for business, not the provider of services to business. And that's a really hard change for the business. Also, the delivery model needs to change from the waterfall one and product-based to the agile, product and CI/CD based, right? Because delivery needs to be fully automated by CI/CD pipelines, and not to be project-based but product-based. Architecture needs to change from success for design to be designed for success using high availability clusters and being redundant to be designed for failure, where you can very fast redeploy some very small module of infrastructure as a code instead of going and as admin fixing somewhere on some server something. Just fix and replace approach. From financial, it's very hard to change too, because change from capital expenses to OPEX, operational expenses. And it was difficult to assign cost to services. Right now, it's easy to assign cost to services. And that's also something what financial CFO and financial department needs to work with. And financial model, cost model in organization needs to change. And that's also not an easy thing to do. Life cycle also is changing, right? Because we were used to be working with old application, at least like one version or more versions of legacy applications. And right now we are working with applications which are always up to date, because cloud is always up to date. And you can even have N+ version, so you can have even version which is not yet released. Some targeted, if you are on targeted release, or if you are on some insider release, then you can use these kind of features even earlier. And this mindset needs to change too. Processes, we used to be able to do documented processes and having manual processes and having a lot of bureaucracy there and a lot of waste. And right now we everything as a code, very intuitive, very value stream. And for process people and from organizations, again, hard change to make. And all these changes takes time and takes some energy. If you look at automation, we were used to do some isolated automation in just one part of organization, usually manually initiated, and usually it was limited. Right now, we are trying to do systemic automation holistically, and usually it's triggered automatically by some trigger, and it's pervasive. We were doing the monitoring on component level, but right now we are rather trying to monitor all the service on the service level. We try to understand if the service is working, if the email is sending email, not if the Exchange server is up and running, because this doesn't mean that email is being sent or received. Also, our support centers are changing from like more contact center, more self-service, or like customer focus, empathy, and organization focus. So we want to have really best customer satisfaction. That's what is in the focus now, because the satisfaction is the metric which is moving the world. If you have satisfied customers, they are going to you and they are staying with you, and they are leaving the concurrence customers and concurrence applications if they are not satisfied there. So satisfaction is almost #1 metric, I would say, right now. And you're also using chatbot and AI. It's something what considered to be in the world. The performance management was siloed, was done by SLAs, and was done by a role-based kit. But right, we are more focusing on value streams, on XLAs, experience level agreements, if I can say something related to satisfaction, NPS score, or basically customer-related, value-related metrics. And also, instead of KPIs, we usually set up OKRs, and on the did it, and other big companies did it. Organizational culture was previously full of confusion and was siloed. Right now, we have collaborative organization culture. We want everyone to collaborate with each other. And the previous speaker from Atlassian was just speaking about it, that he said that that the collaboration is one of the keys. That's why too many companies, including Microsoft, are inner sourcing. We are inner sourcing with our teams, and our teams see each other codes and can contribute to each other code. So Teams team can contribute to Exchange team code, and Exchange team code can contribute to the SharePoint team code. And that's all which needs to change in terms of processes. And here we have some other couple more which are related to culture. Such as IT culture, which was previously centralized and based on technology decisions, where user decided, and the decisions were based by IT management, let's say, or by IT, But right now, user basically should decide or decides what's right and what's wrong, and IT based on that train the users. So for users, it's better to do in this way. Usually, IT is not deciding the other way. They are deciding in the best way for the user. The change management was not usually something which was used. Usually, change management, I mean, not the IT change management, but organizational people change management. That's what I'm talking about here. And this was usually done maybe a little bit by project manager. And usually it was done only by some communication and some provisioning of some training. Yeah, and it was an event, so like one-time event during the project where there was a communication and training, and okay, we are done. That's not sufficient in today's IT, because in DevOps, if you want to transform, you need to have dedicated change management team, people which really focus to change management and which are going through those 3 phases: preparing, managing of the change, and reinforcing the change, which are preparing for you those 8 plans: sponsorship plan, resistance management plan, coaching plan, communication plan, training plan, reward and recognition plan, and community championship plan, and measurement plan. And all these plans, executing it as a process continuously during every day for every year of our DevOps transformation, and even going forwards, because there is always changing something. And this is something what it's not always again in part of our transformations. And this requires sponsorship, good sponsorship from our CIOs, from our CEOs, CFOs, and all the management, all the board of directors, because previously the sponsorship was assumed. It was assumed there is some sponsorship, there was passive sponsorship, or maybe sometimes even it was ignored. But right now we are coaching our managers, we are coaching our leaders to be good sponsors. We are letting them to be active sponsors, and we are empowering them via Clark, which is the activity which shows them how to be good communicator, good liaison, good advocate, good resistance manager, and good coach. So all of these are very, very, very important for management. And of course, when we get back to user experience, the user experience in previous IT was actually, usually there was no user research, like what users want. We maybe did web mobile understanding, and we thought that one size fits all. But right now, we know that users are first. That's what we focus on. We use natural language processing. We use IoT, Internet of Things. We use MR, mixed reality, and we try to make all this personalized and inclusive, this user and employee experience. And as you can see, these are a lot of, and this is not exhaustive list. This is just a list of what I understood to be the major things when I was creating this together with amazing people as John Clark and others in Microsoft when we were creating this slide. This is and Fuad Rakiria, I can't forget. And this is just something what it's, as I said, not exhaustive list, but showing process stuff, process part need to change, and obviously it's not. Moving forward, you probably wonder how to change people, how to change processes. It's so hard, right? It is, but we have something what I already mentioned, management of change. Because if you want to process change, and even technology change, you need management of change. And management of change is which helps Daniel, you to do organizational changes. And you need to, yes, sir?
Yeah, sorry to interrupt. We're running out of time. Probably you should start wrapping up, please.
Okay, I will wrap up. So basically, management of change, it's something what is supporting or maybe even enabling the DevOps transformation from people and process level. And you need to do it on macro level, and you need to do it on level. So means macro level by leadership, micro level in every team and in every division. And you can use different tools to do it. There are a bunch of tools you can just ProSci, East framework, the culture change framework, including changing of behavioral systems, symbols, and using these, and 8 levels of change management, which I've already mentioned, where I mentioned those 8 levels of plans. And these tactics, these tools are helping the management practitioners to enable and the transformation. So with that being said, I would like to think DevOps challenges are 90% people and process. So please do not forget to focus on them first, since they take much longer to resolve the challenges. Number 2, please understand well what is your mindset and what practices are applied in your teams. That's first thing to or some basically the form or a survey. Once you understand that, also learn somewhere what is the best culture, what are all the mindsets, processes, and best practices to apply for successful DevOps. You can learn it, for example, from DevOps Dojo or from some other books or materials which are available on internet or with some other consulting companies. And then based on that, define your roadmap to your actual priorities. And don't forget to do management of change, because without management of change, you will never succeed with DevOps transformation or with any larger transformation or tool implementation or even technology change. So thank you. So what to say? If you would like to learn more about DevOps Dojo, about all what I've said here, you can do 3 things. First, you can contact me directly. You can add me on LinkedIn with my name and contact me directly. I'm happy to reply all your messages. Second, you can go to this link where you can, on these dev blogs, you can find DevOps Dojo, which is directly on this link. And there is a blog which speaks about DevOps Dojo at least some particular level. Of course, not the level we deliver as a consultant to our customers, but to the level you will understand a lot. And if you are a Microsoft customer to use and talk directly to your unified support, Microsoft Consulting, or us, my team, which I'm part of, Culture and Cloud Experience Team, CCX or MSM. With that, Microsoft's mission is to empower every person and every organization on the planet to achieve more. And this is what we try to do also with DevOps Dojo. And this is also what I try to do for you here for free with this presentation. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much. And as said, feel free to contact me. And I hope you will enjoy the rest of the DevOps days here.
Thank you, Daniel. Thank you very much for the talk and all the